Alright, welcome back to the vlog. If you're new to the channel, I'm Kenya. I'm a sophomore honors marketing major at Howard University. Anyway, today I want to talk about how to survive your first semester of college. So recently I finished my first semester on campus because my freshman year was online. So yeah, I want to make a video about how to succeed in your first semester of college. Okay, so first let's touch on classes, because obviously you want to do well in your classes. So unfortunately, in your first semester, you don't get to choose your classes. So your classes are already given to you. You don't get to choose your professors. So yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate thing about your first semester, for classes at least. But for future semesters, you want to focus on getting the best professors. Definitely use ratemyprofessor.com because yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of what students think about the professors. And also there's like a 2-week add drop period. For the first 2 weeks of the semester, you can basically go to different classes and see if the professors are good. So definitely take advantage of that. Like if you have a French course, go to different French classes and see who the best professor is and then sign up for their class. Obviously some classes will be filled, especially if the professors are known to be good, but take advantage of that 2-week period. Okay, so for classes. So honestly, I don't think that college classes are that difficult. I think there's a formula for doing well and you just have to follow that formula. One key thing to do well in college is plan your time. You have to organize your schedule. You have to kind of know what you want to do that day, and you have to create a schedule around those things. In college, there's always an assignment to do, so make sure you're writing down your assignments and make sure that you're scheduling and time to complete those assignments. Also, obviously, you want to go to class. There are like certain classes that you can kind of do well in them and you don't have to go to class, but you do want to go to most classes. And also professors, they do take attendance, and it's just a headache to miss a class and then have to catch up on the lectures that you miss. It requires additional time when you could have just gone to class and gotten the information in class. So go to class. Also, something that is very, very, very key, so please listen. Communicate with your professors. Make sure that your professors know you. Something that's different about college is that you may have like a class where you only have 10 people in that class, but then your next class could have like 100 people, and your professor won't even know your name unless you make an effort to communicate with that professor. So make sure that you ask questions in class, go to office hours, and just make sure that your professor knows you. Because if your professor knows you, then they'll put a face to the name and they'll help you out. I will admit that's something that I haven't done enough of. I don't really make an effort to talk to my professors, and especially in those bigger classes, you want to make an effort to know your professors and make sure that your professors know you. So that's something that I'm even still working on right now. Another key tip is to make sure that you are making friends in your classes and you're joining group me's. I'm not sure if like group me's are big at other schools, but specifically at Howard, for every class you have a group me, and those are basically group chats where people from your class will communicate with each other. So make sure that you're in those group me's, because that's a place where you can communicate with your classmates and you guys can help each other with homework and just ask each other different questions. Also, sometimes these group me's can have some sus activity, so don't get caught up in that. If you see something kind of suspicious going on, make sure to remove yourself, and yeah, don't get caught up in that. And then the last thing for classes is to study for tests. So definitely do not pull an all-nighter, because you don't want to wait until the last day to study a whole semester's worth of content. So yeah, don't pull an all-nighter. Make sure to use study groups. But if you feel like the study group is becoming too unproductive, then don't be afraid to study on your own. I would also recommend that you use different locations for doing your work, because you don't want to burn out a different location. So Howard has 3 libraries, you also have study rooms, and you have your room to do work. So just test different locations and see what location works for you. Okay, next I'm going to talk about friendships. So yeah, honestly, making friends in college, especially at Howard, isn't that difficult. I think the key is to go to a lot of events. If you're not like the party type of person, I think the best place is, just meet people in your classes. If you have like similar interests to someone, maybe you see on their IG like, oh, hey, they do photography, I do videography, like reach out to them and try and hang out with them. But we're at an HBCU, we're at Howard, most of the people here are smart, so making friends isn't that difficult. You have to be open to reaching out to people. So whether it's at the CAF, IG, going to events, joining orgs. But yeah, again, making friends in college is very simple. I wouldn't say it's that difficult. So yeah, just be open to meeting new people and you'll make new friends. Oh, and also one more thing. When you make like a couple close friends, then they'll have their mutual friends and you can make friends with their friends and boom, there you go. You have a whole group. So yeah, just again, it's not that difficult to make friends in college. So yeah, reach out to people and make friends. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about is relationships and dating and kind of parties too, that type of stuff. So let's get into it. So yeah, I think conventional knowledge is to like not date during your first semester in college. And I kind of disagree with that. I think it's important to be open to anything. So if you connect with someone, then hey, talk to them. And if it leads to dating, then do that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend saying like, oh, I'm not gonna date because it's my first semester here. Like, yeah, if you meet someone, go for it. I will say, I think that dating at Howard is very different for guys and girls because, at Howard, it's 66% girls and like 33% guys. So yeah, it's just the gender balance is not equal at all. Yeah, it is different from that aspect. Also, the neighborhood around Howard isn't the best. It's not terrible, but it's sketchy. So it's not terrible, but it's sketchy. What I meant to say is that, you have to be careful around the neighborhood, especially if you're a girl. Like, I've heard of stories of girls being followed to their dorms or guys waiting for girls to come out of their dorm and, again, following them. So you have to be careful as a girl on campus. Make sure that you're always walking with your friends, again, especially if you're a girl, but even if you're a guy too. And yeah, when you get on campus, you'll learn that like there are certain parts that you don't go to. Like you don't really go past W Street alone. So you have to be careful around campus. That's my main point. Also, another tip for like relationships or dating is to not change yourself. In the college environment, especially if it's your first semester on campus, it's your first time away from home. You're not living under your parents' roof anymore and you're surrounded by a bunch of new people. So yeah, a lot of people are just trying to reinvent themselves. And I think it's important to embrace who you are. Don't ever forget that, you bring something to the table. Even if you are in this process of changing, always embrace your strengths. Don't try and completely change who you are, because there is a difference between reinventing yourself and trying to completely change who you are. And yeah, I just think it's important that you always remember that you have something to bring to the table. So yes, evolve, learn, grow, but don't try and completely change who you are and like act differently with someone. And also, honestly, if it doesn't work out with someone that you're talking to, move on quickly, because there are a lot of beautiful people at Howard. There are a lot of cool people, smart people, like I said. And also, we're in a city where there's like, I think four or five colleges at least. So there are a lot of options. So if it doesn't work out with someone, move on quickly. But yeah, those are my tips for surviving your first semester on campus. If you have any questions, if there's something that maybe I didn't touch, definitely leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe for more content, because yeah, there will be more videos about Howard coming soon. So yeah, have a great day and peace.